Hi everyone. I just recorded this entire video only to see that there was an error message when I finished, and now I have to do it all over again. Oh boy, the lovely technology issues that we can have. Anyhow, so maybe there will be another version of this video floating around somewhere on the internet. Oh well, let's go. So I started out with the first video asking if you feel that maybe marketing, marketing is of value, but you have trouble applying it to your own business. So you see other people and you see that, marketing does work for them. And so you appreciate what it can do, but you just don't know how to translate that into your own action. So you are not alone. I'm here with the ABCs of marketing to help teach you that. And hopefully, you'll be better off after this series than before you watch the series. So, I'm going to start by saying that I have a free guide available. It's called The 5 Missteps That Photographers Make that attract price shoppers and that drain their passion, profits, and joy. If you've been struggling with some obstacles that you feel that you can't move past, I identify 5 big ones and the success factors to overcome them. The description. Now I can't even talk. I'm all flustered. Now the link is in the description of the video. Go get your copy. Today, I'm going to go over 2 keywords. See, I'm totally flustered because I recorded this whole video already. My first letter is K, and it stands for keywords. So what are keywords? Keywords are words and or phrases, key phrases that we use to help connect our website to Google searches when clients are searching for a particular service or product. So why do we use keywords? Because they help us get shown in the results that are returned when somebody uses those same keywords. Where might you use them? You would use them in places like your blog, your headings in your website. So a heading is an actual format similar to like a word format where you have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. Obviously, order of importance is that heading 1 is the most important, and then they go down in the hierarchy, and usually it's the biggest headline. So if you ever thought of a news article, it has a headline, then it may have some subheadings, reasons for this, reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. Then you have those subheadings. And you would also use them in the content of your website. Now, I talked about keyword stuffing. There was a time when we were first sort of figuring out the great internet, and we used a lot of keywords. In my case, Montreal wedding photographer is a key phrase of mine, and what people ended up doing was overusing the keywords and key phrases to the point where it didn't sound like you were talking to a human. So if I said, "Hi, I'm Lucy, a Montreal wedding photographer. In terms of me being a Montreal wedding photographer, I'd like to offer you services. And being a wedding photographer in Montreal, I love being a Montreal wedding photographer." It's just, it doesn't sound good. So you have to be kind of strategic in how you use them, but you don't need that many. You don't need to stuff your whole website with keywords in order to be successful. You just have to put them in the right places. Now, for people who don't know where to start, you would start with your website template where there is already a tab probably called marketing or promotions or something like that where you can already put in information related to SEO or search engine optimization, which is what we call the whole keyword search result thing, is that it helps people find you on the internet. You're maximizing or optimizing the chance that you will be served up when somebody searches for a service like yours. So your website provider usually has a few sections. It could be on each blog post where you can type in a title and description. And they also have for the overall structure of the site where you would type in your heading 1 as, Montreal wedding photographer, and then other areas that they would ask you to fill in keywords and key phrases that will help you get found. The it's a big field, SEO, so I would suggest that you start simple and you don't have to be an expert in order to do those small things. So, tip number one is to go to your website provider. If you don't know where to find that in your provider's menus, then go to YouTube and do a keyword search. Funny. And so you type in your provider's name and SEO or keyword optimization and see if there's any tutorials that you can take that show you how to optimize your website. That's one of the easiest and most basic ways to use keywording. And the second way is to do a search for your particular product or service. With my example, I'm a Montreal wedding photographer, so I opened up a browser and I typed in Montreal wedding photographer. And I looked at what the results were. Now, I look at a lot of my colleagues' results because I know a lot of other Montreal wedding photographers uh, around me. And it's just good to know who's in front of you. Congratulations to them. I don't want to be competitive to them, but I use their information as inspiration and insight and research into perhaps a best practice that I've overlooked. And what I will say is don't ever copy. Don't take content from them and copy it into your website the same way that they have done. Um, you might get inspiration for some keywords or key phrases, but please do not copy their content. That is not the point of the this advice, because copying doesn't really get you anywhere because you are not them. And we obviously don't want to undermine or disrespect anybody else in our industry. But you can take it as inspiration just to see what other people are doing and then take it and make it your own. Incorporate it in ways that make sense for you. So please don't copy paste. Um, but you'll notice who's in front of you and you'll notice what kind of words they're using, what kind of setup they have. And, but more importantly, is as you scroll down the search results page, you will see um, a set of recommendations that usually Google makes. Other people searched for these similar things, and they give you a list. So again, Montreal wedding photographer, if I've typed it in, I see a couple of search results that are ahead of me. But then when I look down at that list, it says people are also searching for Montreal wedding venues. People are also searching for what does it cost to hire a wedding photographer in Montreal. Um, so there's different ways of saying it, or they're looking at a different aspect of photography, but it's coming up. And so that can give you clues, not only for what types of keywords to use, premium service photographers in Montreal or affordable Montreal photographers, if that's what you want, a variety of things. And the other way that it helps you is that you can find good blog topics, which then you will use those keywords for. So, how much does a Montreal wedding photographer cost? That's a great blog post. And so it satisfies not only the client's needs in there, but it also satisfies the keyword search because then you would use those words or phrasing in your blog post. Have you wondered how much a Montreal wedding photographer costs? Well, here I break it down for you, and this is why it's an investment. Da da da. And so then you hail your chances for increase your chances for booking. So now I'm a little discombobulated because I'm doing this for the second time. And I'm trying to figure out whether or not I have said anything. Oh, yeah. So the second part that I wanted to talk about was that I also use keywords in a way that is not the logistic SEO way. But I use keywords, I find them in the communications that people have with me. So if people leave comments on any posts that I make on Instagram or on Facebook, or in a blog post if you have comments on, and in my inquiries, I will reflect keywords back to people to build a connection. And that's sort of a unique way of using keywords in order to create that affinity towards you and your brand. So if somebody's emailing a few different photographers, but you use that language reflected back to them, the same language that they used in their inquiry, it could mean a difference of building connection where another photographer didn't. As an example, if somebody wrote, your pictures looked fun, I would say something in response to that. Oh, thank you for letting me know that my pictures are fun. I strive to create very fun sessions when I photograph families or what have you, and you've reflected or mirrored back their language, which makes a connection with people. So that's an extra little bonus of how I use keywords, not only to make sure that my site is findable in when somebody else searches, but also using that in my language when I am speaking with prospective clients. Okay, so the letter L is for leads. So what is a lead? A lead is a label that we have assigned to a person based on the life cycle they are in, the place in the life cycle of our business. So if somebody is really far off from your business, we call them a cold prospect. They're cold because they haven't really encountered you or have never paid attention to your content. If they become a warm prospect, that means that you may have come across some content and may have become interested. You might not know because they haven't interacted or anything like that, but that they have looked or seen your content before. Now, when a person becomes a lead, it's because there has been a trigger where they have taken an action. So we've talked about calls to action. And if somebody has taken an action, like gone to your website and left an email, or left a more intense comment on a blog post, or inquired, that's a lead. And a lead will either stay a lead, so if they give you an email, you might send some email marketing their way. They may never pull the trigger. They may just like hearing from you, but they don't take action. It's possible. Or they can recede, they can unsubscribe and go back to being kind of a colder prospect. But most people will either stay there and then eventually turn into a client. And the way that we attract people to become leads is through some of the other things that I've spoken about in this series. Now, a lot of you think that marketing is selling yourself. But if you think about it, if somebody's already using keywords and key phrases to search for a service, that means that they are already searching for you or someone like you. And so you're not selling or convincing them that photography is a good idea. What you want to do is you want to lead them to the decision that you're the best one for what they want. And so when we think of leading, we are leading people. That's why it's called a lead. We are leading people towards us. And we are leading them from being a cold prospect to being warmer, warmer, warmer. Hot, hot, hot lead into a client. It calls back to mind an old game that we used to play when we were kids, the hot cold game, where you would hide something and then you would give people clues as to whether they were close to finding that thing by saying hot or cold, warmer, colder, cooler, and they would move around until, if they're colder, obviously they have to shift direction until they get warmer, warmer, warmer. And I thought to myself, well, maybe this is the reason why that game exists. They took the language from the game to create the terms hot lead. So when you're like almost at the point of finding something, you become a hot lead, or maybe the concept of marketing hot leads turned into the game. I don't know which, but there are ways to do it. The ways to do it are to create strategies for bringing people in, which means you have to be discovered by them. Then you have to be attention grabbing. You have to call them to action and move them into your website. So that's how you bring a lead in closer. And then, of course, your website has to be strong enough with good, strong calls to action, movement through the website in order to get them to the contact form. So that we want to lead people. So you don't have to be scared of like, what is a lead? Lead management. You know, we don't have to be intimidated by that language. We're simply leading people towards a final result, which is booking with us. So let me see. Okay. I have repeated this information twice. I think my first time was a little bit better, but oh well. I still passed on the information that I needed. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gives you a little clarity. Again, the free PDF download is available. The 5 missteps that photographers make that attract price shoppers and drain you of your passion, profits, and joy, and the success factors to overcome them. So if you need something immediate, a hit to get started on your marketing, download that guide. It will help move you into action. And otherwise, I will see you tomorrow, where I hope I will only have to do one take of my video. Okay, take care, Shine Sparklers. Bye.